This true scary story has a huge trigger warning because it has to do with violence and so if you can't handle either of those things, please scroll. This story is absolutely nuts. And if you've watched my page before, if I tell you a story is nuts, it is nuts. Before we start, I just want to remind you that my YT is the link in my bio, and I tell the same stories I tell on here over there, different stories, and also longer versions of stories I tell on here over there. So just remember that. I'll put the link right here for you for a second. So let's get to the story. So this story was sent to me by a girl named Ari. And when Ari was a teenager, she moved to the Appalachian Mountains. This house was literally in the middle of the woods. Now it's important to note that Ari's family is spiritual. They don't necessarily believe in God, but they do believe in something. They know that something is out there. And if anything ever acts up and anything happens, they do put things like crosses on the walls and they do pray. Ari's family also often has dreams that do come true. And she says that this is more of a curse than a blessing because sometimes the dreams can be really off-putting. And then what happens afterwards can be very off-putting. And she herself especially has dreams that eventually do come true. Now, when she was a teenager, before she moved into this house, she had this dream. And this dream was of this demon man. And this man looked terrifying. His body was black. He was incredibly muscular. He was about 6 feet tall. He had horns on his head and he had a goat's head for his head. Now in her dream, this being would just walk the halls of her house and it would be speaking in this growling voice, but it would be in a different language. She said that this language is not known to this earth. It's something like demonic and it sounds demonic. Now she said that although this language was not of this world, she could actually understand what it was saying. She doesn't remember what it was saying, but at the time she could understand it. Now in the beginning of this dream, her family didn't live in the house yet. It was actually an older couple that lived in the house. It was an older man and an older woman. And whatever this demon creature was, it was trying to make the older man go to the neighbor's house and unalive them in like the most gruesome way. The old man obviously did not want to do this, but this demon was not taking no for an answer. So right in front of her, this demon turned into this black smoke, goes inside of the old man and makes the old man go across the street and unalive the family of 3 that was living in the home. Now the way he does this is he takes a shiny object and he's 4 times each. Remember that, 4 times each. Then he takes the mother's heart out and he squeezes it. All of the comes out of it and he uses that to write on the wall in the language that he was speaking prior, and then he also writes an upside down cross and the letters or the numbers 666. After this happens, everything stops and all of a sudden she just sees the old man swinging back and forth. He had unalived himself by then bam, the dream just goes black and all of a sudden she hears this maniacal laugh. And the laughing stops and then she sees her family just moving into the house, happy as ever, super excited.